All right, CJ Albertson, head of the 2024 Boston Marathon. I guess I want to start with the trials. That's the last time we saw you, and how was the last few weeks after that recovering it, both like physically and emotionally?
Yeah, I mean the trials were obviously like really good, but also like, oh dang, like I just missed it. That was kind of crazy. So yeah, coming off of it, I had like some little like pains in my feet. And just like, I feel like since I joke about it, but like since I turned 30, I think I've had like 2 pain-free days. Just like nothing big, nothing that really like sets me back, but just like these little things that just kind of come up. And I'm like, oh, now I gotta work on this, now I gotta work on that. And so it's kind of been like that, like since the trials, like nothing major, but I think like yesterday, or no, I didn't run yesterday. Wednesday was like the first day I like didn't really have significant pain in one of my feet. So, but yeah, mentally, I felt like it was a little bit easy to recover from, just because I have like kind of a lot going on in my life, like just like with work and kids and just like the life that I have. So it's kind of easy to transition from like, oh, I'm running, and like now it's like I'm doing other stuff. I watched an interview with Mia Ramsden, is that from Harvard?
Maya Ramsden,
yeah. She was basically saying after like Worlds, like she just was like, all right, like for the in between Worlds and NCAA, she just was like, coach is still just like be a student for the next like 4 days, like don't think about running, just do all your other stuff you got to do, and then you can check back into running like when we get to show up to nationals.
Yeah,
it's like that's kind of how it is for me a little bit. Like after the trials, I can go back into like, all right, like I gotta do like this stuff like within like our PE department, like kind of doing this stuff, get our track team ready, go through the track season. We have like our 2 kids, so just kind of like doing all those other things that I'm responsible for and doing, because then I'm not just like thinking about running.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm still training.
Yeah.
But it gives you that mental break, and then it's like when it's ready to race again, like I'll walk in and race.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like for most races, I'm fairly relaxed going into it because, it's not like, it's not like life or death. Like, and I have like so many other things I'm doing that running can just be running. It's not like running is my life, running is my career. It's just like, it is in a sense, but it's also just like a thing that I do.
Yeah.
And when I'm there, I'm going to do it the best that I can. But,
Can you remind me where you work again? Like you're a coach, right?
Yeah, I coach at community college in California, so it's Clovis Community College.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach, I teach like PE, health kinesiology there, and then coach. And I just got tenured this spring, so because it was my 4th year being full time. So that was exciting and kind of like
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm doing, and then obviously still trying to run as long as I can.
Yeah, and so I took a peek at your Strava before, like a couple days ago, and I, normally I'm like blown away, like, wow, I can't believe what CJ did. There's some crazy workout or anything. I didn't see anything too crazy. Was I missing it, or was this sort of a more low-key preparation between now and the trials?
No, yeah, there definitely wasn't anything crazy. My mileage was a little lower, again, partly just because I had some of those nicks and knacks, and so I had just more like really low days or rest days, and then just like traveling with the track season, like track meets they're just exhausting. You're there all day, sometimes leave at like 7 or 8 a.m., get back at midnight, and they're just long. So yeah, training's been lower, energy levels have been just up and down, like really low sometimes, but that's just that's life. But yeah, so nothing really crazy. Again, mileage a little lower, but I ran so many marathons and had obviously a pretty decent baseline fitness coming off the trials. So I guess all of that wasn't super necessary. It's more just like maintaining, trying to get some decent speed work in, which is hard for me, but I did a lot of pacing at some college races and got some speed work in that I probably couldn't do alone. Mm-hmm. So that helped. And then this last couple weeks, like doing some faster things, I felt came a lot more easier than they normally do. So I haven't done the big long runs, haven't had these crazy mileage weeks, but I feel like my speed or like being comfortable under 440 pace just as good or maybe even slightly better than it has been in the past. So I've ran so many, this is going to be like over my 20th marathon, and I've ran that distance in practice multiple times. So I feel like my body can handle the distance. May have to be a little bit slightly conservative in how I run. But yeah, I think I'm fit enough to do well.
Tell me about the entry you had a couple days ago that said close to ideal 209 splits that I'll never run. Explain why you posted it, and also was that like a joke, or what do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like if I think about like how I would run or how to run Boston, and so like ideally, like these, like I don't always like choose to go out. Well, I do choose, but like I don't necessarily like the pace that I run isn't like what I necessarily intend to or think is the best pace. It's just the race is there, and sometimes you gotta follow the race. So in this Boston, the field's like pretty good up top, but it's not like super deep. You don't have that like big group of Americans that you normally have because of the Olympic trials. So, after you get through all the like 206 guys and under, there's not really a whole lot left. There's a couple Japanese athletes that run 208. They're gonna, I'm assuming, go with the front group. So basically there's gonna be one pack, and I don't really see much room to have a second pack because there's no one there. There's maybe one or two guys, and maybe we could work together, but you're probably just going to have, if you want to run with people, which it's hard to run a marathon by yourself, you probably have to go out with the front pack. So I don't know what that's going to be. In the back of my mind, maybe like putting out those splits would somehow like, when they say things like speed things into existence, and like get the front pack to run those splits, because it'd be really slow and conservative for them, but it'd be perfect for me. And then like, realistically, I'm not going to win the race, but if I can get towed along at my ideal pace, then I'm close enough to guys with the last 5 miles. I can actually beat some people that, are maybe on paper better than me. So that was kind of it. Again, it's probably not going to go out like that. So am I going to run those splits? Probably not. And am I going to just run by myself sticking to those splits? No, because it's hard. Like, it's just hard to run a marathon. Like, it's hard to do that. It's like, it's just hard.
I commend you, because normally I'll ask people, hey, what's your strategy? What's your game plan? And they're like, oh, they were all pretty hush-hush. And you just kind of like, hey, ideally, this is what I'd like to do. So I kind of love that.
Yeah, I mean, and like, no one's going to like change their race strategy because of what I say in the interview.
Right.
I'm not like, if Evan Strabet says something, like maybe, but even then, no one's going to listen because like they're not going to believe what he's saying. Like, because you just, just say stuff to maybe get in a competitor's head, but no one really cares what I'm saying.
But the part where you said that I'll never run those splits, that was just because that's not how the race is going to play out. I assume you still believe you can break 210.
Oh yeah, like I believe. It's not that I don't believe I have the ability to run those splits. I put those out there because like I don't feel like I'm in like this phenomenal shape where it's like, oh, I'm ready to run 206 or 207. But like I'm in good enough shape that if I run a decently split race, I can run 209.50. And on a great day, if we have a slight tailwind and it's 2 seconds a mile faster, then I could even maybe crack 209. But so I think I'm physically capable of that. Will the race play out like that? Boston is Boston. Who knows how the race is going to go every time. So.
Yeah, could find yourself in the lead by 2 minutes and halfway,
Yeah, probably not this year, but yeah.
All right. Appreciate the time as always, CJ. Good luck on Monday.